While the world was distracted by the shaky splashdown of Artemis II, a much more dangerous game was being played in the shadows of the lunar South Pole. NASA just spent $90 billion to fly 4 astronauts around the moon, but while they were celebrating a simple orbit, Beijing was busy finalizing the launch of Chang'e 7. This isn't just another robotic probe, it's a full-scale invasion force of orbiters, landers, and flying mini-probes designed to find the one thing that will decide who owns the 21st century: lunar water ice. My perspective is clear. NASA is playing a game of PR and safety, while China is playing a game of conquest and infrastructure. The reality of 2026 is terrifying for anyone betting on American space superiority. Behind the scenes, the Artemis III landing has been effectively gutted, shifted into a low Earth orbit test because the technology simply isn't ready. Meanwhile, China's Long March 10 rocket is already hitting its test milestones with robotic precision. I suspect that the moon race we've been told about is a lie. It's not a race to land, it's a race to stay. From my point of view, China isn't looking for a flag-planting ceremony. They're building the first extraterrestrial gas station and a nuclear-powered stronghold that will make the Artemis Accords look like a forgotten piece of paper.
If you want to stay ahead of the curve in this new space war, hit that subscribe button right now. We are the only ones tracking the real data that NASA and CNSA don't want you to compare. Join the Exoplanet X community, and let's find the truth together.
While NASA is still debating the safety protocols for a human landing, the China National Space Administration has already unveiled its secret weapon, a literal army of semi-humanoid robots. In early 2026, at the Shanghai Aerospace Expo, we saw the future of lunar construction: wheeled AI-powered machines with 4 degrees of freedom hands designed to build the International Lunar Research Station without a single human on site. These aren't just rovers, they are autonomous builders capable of rotating their torsos 180 degrees to move heavy cargo and assemble modular bases. From my perspective, China is bypassing the heroic astronaut phase entirely and moving straight to industrializing the moon with a robotic workforce that never sleeps, never breathes, and never complains about the radiation. But it's not just about robots, it's about the power to run them. While Artemis depends on fragile solar arrays that fail during the 14-day lunar night, Beijing is doubling down on a permanent lunar nuclear network. Recent reports from March 2026 confirm that China and Russia have finalized a memorandum to establish a lunar power station by the mid-2030s, with technology verification missions starting as early as 2028. I suspect this nuclear grid is the real reason China is targeting the Shackleton Crater's rim. They aren't just looking for water, they are staking a claim on the most strategic high ground on the moon, ensuring that any future colony, American or otherwise, will have to play by Beijing's rules if they want to stay powered through the freezing lunar darkness. The ultimate prize, however, is helium-3, and China is already ahead in the logistics of the energy war. Following the success of chang'e 6, which brought back samples from the far side in 2024, Chinese state media has been blunt. The moon is the Persian Gulf of the 21st century. Their data suggests a concentration of helium-3 so high that it could power Earth for 10,000 years through nuclear fusion. I believe the rapid development of the Long March 10 and their new heavy-lift cargo landers is a direct response to this discovery. While we view the moon as a laboratory, China views it as a quarry. They are building a supply chain for the ultimate clean energy source, and if they secure the mining rights first, the global power balance won't just shift, it will be rewritten in the lunar dust. The conflict just escalated to a point of no return. As of April 14, 2026, a new White House memo has officially ordered NASA to deploy a nuclear reactor on the lunar surface by 2030. Why the sudden rush? Because NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman knows that China and Russia are already finalizing their joint lunar power station. I suspect that the peaceful exploration of the moon ended the moment we realized that solar power isn't enough to sustain a permanent military or industrial presence.
From my perspective, this is a desperate attempt by the US to reclaim the nuclear high ground before Beijing turns the lunar South Pole into an impenetrable energy fortress. However, NASA is fighting this war with one hand tied behind its back. While the White House demands nuclear reactors, it is simultaneously proposing extinction-level budget cuts to NASA's science programs. Just days after the triumph of Artemis II, we are seeing plans to slash the agency's funding by billions, potentially canceling over 50 future missions. I believe this creates a dangerous vacuum that China is more than happy to fill. While American engineers are worried about losing their jobs, Chinese engineers are testing the Lanyu lander and the Long March 10 rocket with unlimited state backing. It's a classic case of political sabotage. The US wants to win the race, but it's refusing to pay for the fuel. The stakes are no longer just about flags. They are about the very physics of future power. China's Chang'e 7 mission, launching later this year, is specifically designed to hunt for water ice in the permanently shadowed craters of the Shackleton Basin. But don't be fooled. Water is just the precursor. The real goal is the infrastructure to mine helium-3. Recent data from the Chang'e 6 samples has confirmed concentrations of this isotope that could theoretically decouple China from Earth's energy markets forever. I suspect that if China establishes their nuclear-powered International Lunar Research Station first, they won't just be mining resources, they will be setting the lunar standard for all future human activity, leaving NASA to negotiate for scraps in a territory they once thought they owned.
As we stand in mid-2026, the question is no longer if we will return to the moon, but who will write the laws of the lunar surface. If China successfully lands its robotic construction crew at the South Pole while NASA is still stuck in the test flight phase of Artemis III, the Artemis Accords will become irrelevant. I suspect we are moving toward a first-come, first-served reality, where the most valuable craters are claimed not by treaties, but by whoever lands a nuclear reactor there first. From my perspective, the moon isn't just a destination anymore. It's the first piece of real estate in a trillion-dollar energy empire that Beijing is building with ruthless efficiency. Ultimately, the divergence between these two superpowers is a matter of vision. NASA is fighting for its legacy, trying to recreate the glory of the 1960s with 21st century safety regulations and 19th century bureaucracy. China, on the other hand, is fighting for its future. They see the moon as the eighth continent, a necessary step for their total energy independence and deep space dominance. I believe that by 2029, we won't be looking at two equal programs. We will be looking at a Chinese-led lunar economy where Western companies have to pay for access to the very resources, like helium-3, that they once thought they would control. So here is the terrifying truth we have to face. Are we witnessing the end of American space exceptionalism? While we celebrate orbits, Beijing is pouring concrete. While we debate budgets, they are launching nuclear-powered infrastructure. I suspect that the next giant leap for mankind won't be spoken in English, but in Mandarin, and it will happen much sooner than NASA wants to admit. The race isn't over. It has just been won by the side that stopped talking and started building. The only question left is, will we be there to witness it, or will we be watching it on a screen while someone else claims the stars? The moon is no longer a distant dream. It's the front line of a new world order. Whether you're rooting for the Stars and Stripes or the Red Dragon, one thing is certain: 2026 is the year everything changes. Thank you for being part of this journey with Exoplanet X. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one of them. Stay curious, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one as we continue to track the real race for the cosmos. Goodbye for now.